Hi, this is Hasmik. Today I want to make you a whole beef brisket, which is so delicious you have no idea. So for this, what I do actually, I buy a whole brisket, which has all the fat and everything on it. And if you would like, you can trim a little bit of fat before cooking. However, after we cook this, we are going to get rid of all this fat. So either you can get the whole brisket like this, or you can get a semi-cleaned one like this. So it doesn't matter, whichever you get, the recipe is going to be the same. So we are going to need a whole or half of a beef brisket, salt and pepper, a bottle of red wine, 2 heads of garlic, 1 bunch of fresh thyme. If you don't have fresh thyme, you can use 2 teaspoonfuls of dry thyme. So you chop the garlic, 1 head, you chop it, mince the garlic and chop the thyme. You need a bunch of fresh carrots, like I got 7-8 of them, and half a cup of vegetable or olive oil. So what we do, like I said, if you would like to trim some of the fat, you can just cut some of the fat before cooking it, or like I said, after this is cooked, we are gonna get rid of all of the fat. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna cut this in half because my pan is not gonna fit the whole thing. So I'm gonna cut this in half. See, this is how it looks like. Cut this in half so it can fit in my pan, and put the generously salt and pepper on both sides, like altogether 1 teaspoonful on both sides. So half a teaspoonful on one side, you flip it over, and the same thing on the other side. So salt and pepper, like I said, it's just half a teaspoonful of each. So what we are going to do, we have to brown them. So the browner they get, the tastier they're gonna become. So we'll take a big pan, whichever pan you have. You can use something like this. You're gonna roast in it. We will put the fat down. So I'll put fat down, and we are gonna sear them. So it basically is going to be like 5 minutes on each side. After we put salt and pepper, like I said, we put the fat down and we are going to brown them. So almost 5 minutes for each side, and they're going to get nice and brown. So let's cook it for 5 minutes each side. As you see, our wheat brisket has gotten nice and brown, both sides. So, see, the browner it gets, the better it's gonna be. So now, we are going to add the half a cup of olive oil or vegetable oil to our chopped thyme or dry thyme if you have, and a head of minced garlic. I'm going to add half a teaspoonful of black pepper and half a teaspoonful of salt. Remember, we have already added some salt, but I want to add a little more. So we will mix this together, okay? And we'll rub it on our meat, just like this. Move it everywhere nicely. On this side too. Okay, and we will put the fats side down again. Okay. Remember we had 5-6 carrots. I cut them in half so they can fit in my pan. And we will put them by the meat and some under the meat. Create a bed of carrots for the meat. Okay. And voila. This is too big. Okay. So now we either, if you like, I add 1 bottle of red wine, any kind of red wine. If you don't like the red wine, you can add 1 or 2 cups of chicken or beef broth, if you like. But I use 1 bottle of wine. The alcohol will cook. Okay. And if your pan has a lid, you put the lid. If it doesn't have lid, you just nicely, cover it with foil. Mine has a lid. I'm gonna put the lid. So we are gonna cook this for almost 2.5 hours. But what we do, like after an hour and a half, we will take it out and cut them nicely, get rid of all the fat, cut them nicely, and put them back to cook for another half an hour. So it depends. You have to just touch it. You don't want it to fall apart, but you don't want it to, undercook either. So we are gonna put this in the oven. First on 400 degrees. Okay. So we'll put it on 400 degrees for 10 minutes, so it can start the boiling. After 10 minutes, we are going to lower it to 325 degrees and cook it for 2 hours. Okay, it's been 2 hours. Let's check on our meat because we are gonna. So it looks so good. So what we are going to do? I'm going to take it out, cut the meat, took the fat off, and put it back for another hour or so to cook. So it's been cooking for 2 hours on 325 degrees, and we had 50 minutes on 450. Okay, let's cut it. Okay, look, oh my God. Now we are gonna take separate all the fat and cut it. Look, the fat is. The main thing is the fat cooks with the meat, makes the meat very tender. However, we are gonna get rid of all this fat. And cut the meat, slice it very nicely, very thin slices, and put it back. See how much juice the meat has created. I like to have the juice, so if you want to make my own gravy, I can use it. But if you don't want, you can just let it cook open, so you can get rid of some of the juice. But it's very good to just serve it with the juice too. Okay, let's cut this. Okay, the way I cut it, I just cut it like this, very thin slices. Look how beautiful it is. Okay, you cut it very nicely, very thin slices. And put it back in the pan, just like this. We have to be very careful, it's hot. Okay, as you see, I cut the beef in very thin slices. So it was kind of hot, but you don't have to do it immediately. You can let it cool down a little. And then, as you can see, we have a lot of fat on top of it. So after it's done, we can just easily take it out of the the meat and would be done. So what we'll do, I'll put the lid back. If you don't have lid, you use the foil, tightly foil, and cook another hour on 325 degrees. Okay, it's been a little more than an hour and our beef brisket is perfectly done. Look how beautiful it is and so delicious. It smells incredible. So it takes a little time to cook. The key is to cook it slowly, but it's really worth it. Let's put it in a plate. Here is the best part, is the juice, the gravy. You can use this to make your own gravy. It's so delicious. Okay, it looks so good and the smells actually even better. Let's taste it. So this is how I eat it. Okay, you get some of the mashed potato, so creamy. My goodness, it's so good. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget, subscribe. Bye, see you next time.